Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're at the Boonville Fair for their 2024 Demolition Derby. This is for the afternoon. This is going to be a prelude for the afternoon derby here. And you're going to see some cars you may recognize if you watched Lewis County last week. And we got definitely a lot of new cars here. I did put in a couple of raffle tickets for that Buick LeSabre up front for the afternoon derby, so we'll see if I win it. It'll be funny if I do. Alright, so we got a Jeep Grand Cherokee right there. Next to that we have a this is a GMC Terrain, same thing as an Equinox. Another Jeep Grand Cherokee, and another Nissan Xterra. Interesting, we'll see another one of those today. We got another Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's getting more and more popular, it seems. They're pretty tough. And we got a small car heat right here. Honda Accord on the end. See how those hold up. I've been seeing more and more of these coming into the derby world. As they get older, obviously, they will. I believe this to be a Pontiac Vibe, gonna have the same front frame as a Corolla. I believe this to be a Nissan. Nissan Versa, that is. Okay, yep, there's your Toyota Matrix. Same thing as a Pontiac Vibe. Got a old Taurus. You don't see too many of these, and there's actually two of them here. One a wagon, one a sedan. And we'll see how they both hold up. Gonna be interesting. Driven by Brianna Rogers, it looks like. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just who signed it there. Got a car that was pre-ran from Lewis County right here. If I remember correctly, that's a Nissan. Yep, that's a Nissan. Got a Kia. I believe this is a Kia Spectra. I believe it's the same thing underneath as a Hyundai Elantra. I believe they're the same underneath, or at least somewhat similar anyway. Behind that we got a Subaru Outback. Good cars. Let's go take a look at this Taurus. Got a nice paint job on there called the Whack Job. It's going to be driven by Lance Snyder. How's it going? Got Ford Taurus. Guess still got the key in the hatch. But this thing is supposedly quite clean underneath, so we'll see how it holds up. Got some pretty low sitting front end, so hopefully you can keep that front end clean. But behind that we got a Chevrolet Cobalt. These things, other than the front suspension, are actually pretty darn good cars. Same Demolition Noobs actually has done a few of these, and he's done pretty well with his Cobalts recently because he starts to swap the front suspension, and they hold up pretty good. They take the heat pretty good too. We got a Ford Escape coming in. Pontiac G6. These things have pretty wicked back ends on them as long as they're not too rotten. This one's one of the rotten types possibly, but we'll see. Still got a back bumper on the back, so that's good news, at least for the frame possibly, but we'll see. Behind that we got a two-door Honda Accord. Like the paint job. And yeah, definitely tough cars here. You got to watch that front suspension if you can. I mean, that goes for any front-wheel drive car, but especially you got to keep an eye on some cars because they have aluminum suspension, stuff like that. This is a Saab in front of me right now. I've been seeing a couple of Saabs recently. Not very common cars, but apparently they're getting more and more common to be derbied. Got a pretty big front bumper kind of crush point there. It actually bolts onto the frame all the way back there, so we'll see how that does. Usually, unfortunately, some of the time, most of those cars, they kick one way or the other, and it puts a lot of stress on the frame. Oh, that frame does look pretty big, so we'll see. I know these Saabs have pretty tough back ends. Behind that, we got a Hyundai Sonata. Very good cars. Tough front frames. Pretty good in the back. So, I like the paint job. I think this is all best of paint right through here. We'll walk over to this side and then we'll get back to the other one. Got the 171, and this is a Chrysler Sebring or a Chrysler 200. I think this is actually the 200 just because that Chrysler badge kind of tells me this is newer. So I think this is actually a 200. Same thing underneath as an Avenger or a Sebring. Next to that we got a Chevrolet Malibu. Same thing as the G6. Very tough back ends. Front ends are okay. They like to kick sideways a little bit, but once again, it's going to be that front suspension. It's going to be interesting. Got a Buick LaCrosse, newer style Buick LaCrosse right here. and we'll see how this thing does. I know they have a lot of aluminum in them, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I don't know, I've been impressed by some of these cars before, so we'll see. Got a rotted front bumper on the front of this Malibu. See how that holds up. Got the radiators way in front on these Malibus. They're way in front of that core support. If I ever ran one of these, I'd probably try to loop it, just because of the fact that the radiator does sit so far in front, it's so exposed. So take one good shot to the front end, and that's about it for that radiator. Back to the Chevy Cobalt. Over here is a 4-door. This thing's rotten. The radiator is already kind of messed up. I don't know if he's actually going to end up running it through the radiator. It looks like I see radiator hoses going to the radiator, so we'll see. But he might just run it dry. And once again, you'll see that none of these cars have in-car gas tanks, and that's because it's actually not allowed here. That's one of the reasons why I don't run at Boonville. Here you don't see every day. You got a Saturn, and these Saturns, a lot of people try to rip as much plastic off as possible. Well, they're all metal underneath, obviously, so you got a decent suspension on these. I've seen them do okay. That bumper is kind of interesting. It's actually a pointed bumper, but it's aluminum, so we'll have to see how that holds up. I've seen a couple of these run, and I have seen them do okay, as long as they don't break off. That's the only thing. That aluminum is going to be a little bit more brittle, so it might end up falling off. Behind that, we got a Buick Century. Got a nice paint job on there. Right. Nice flag. Behind that, we got a another G6, a mystery machine. I think these are all best of paint cars, like I said before. Behind that, we have another Impala with another rotted out front bumper. We'll see how that holds up, but the frame looks pretty rusty. Usually when you see that front bumper rusted like that, they're pretty darn rusty, so we'll see. I imagine that this guy's going to have this back end all the way into the back if he lives long enough through there, so if the car lives long enough. But yeah, going to be interesting. We'll see. I can see right through the floor. That's how you know they're rotten. When you can look there and look right through the floor, that's how you know they're pretty rotten. So I expect this one to just those tires are going to be going straight inside because the whole back end's just going to blow out in around this area. So we'll see. Pretty common with these Impalas, but that's about it for the Prelude. Honestly, it's a pretty short Prelude. A lot of these cars are kind of scattered among the back there, and I'm not going to walk back there just because, well, I just don't really feel like it at the moment. But they're all scattered back there, and I just don't like. I don't know what's running the afternoon heat versus the evening. Some of those cars scattered back there will run the evening class, and so I don't want to misrepresent anybody or any car. So, but we're in for, I think, a pretty good show here. We got beautiful weather, and hopefully we'll see some good action at the afternoon Demolition Derby. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, everybody.